Last week we made a little improvement in, I think, a few areas, but we're far from being a good football team yet. So we have to continue to improve, and we better continue to do it or we'll have trouble winning any more games.
What did you guys improve on so well?
I said we improved a little bit.
Okay, what did you guys improve a little bit on well then?
Well, we rushed the passer a little bit better, and we played a little bit better pass defense.
Rocky, what did you make of Colorado State's defense being able to slow down Fresno the way they did early?
I thought they did a really nice job of confusing the quarterback, because I watched the film, obviously. They played some bracket coverage, which is I don't know if that's what they always do, because I don't study the other team's defense that much, but I watched what they did. They played some bracket coverage, which is very technical, it's hard to teach unless that's what you do all the time. And I'm guessing they must play bracket coverage all the time, because they did it pretty well and they confused the quarterback. Now, they also had, Fresno had great success running the ball, so you don't throw it as much. If you have great success running the ball, you don't throw it as much. You don't throw it 50-some times if you're rushing it for 250 yards.
How do you capitalize on this momentum going to the next game?
Well, the only way you capitalize is to continue to win.
Rocky, special challenges that Colorado offers up for you guys?
Yeah, all kinds. I think the Colorado State's defense has improved every week, and last week they played really well. On offense, they have a new quarterback. His first start was last week. The week before that, he played most of the whole game. The starting quarterback went down in the Air Force game, early in the Air Force game, so he's really played 2 straight games. He was much improved last week from when he was in the Air Force game. He had better control of the offense. He spread the ball around. I know they want to run it, and they have a running back that tore us up last year. I think he rushed for 220-some yards against us last year in that game. He wasn't healthy early in the year, but he started the last 2 games, so I'm sure he's looking forward to playing against us again.
Coach, are you going to stick with the kind of simpler defensive package in practice week, or are you thinking about adding some new stuff?
No, we're going to try to stay as simple as possible and still give us a chance to win. You can oversimplify things so that the other team knows exactly what you're doing, and then they have a much better chance of out-executing you.
Rocky, when your team is somewhat hard to define sometimes, in terms of being successful at the things that you want them to be, do you find yourself digging a little deeper into your film sessions and other kinds of things to, really just try to pick out what needs to be done, or you just go?
No, I don't know what needs to be done. Because we've tried a lot of things over the last few weeks. I've been coaching a long time. It's my experience that when your team struggles, you work much, much, much harder than you do when your team is on a roll. When your team is on a roll and playing well, you don't change anything. You just keep doing the same thing, and hopefully they keep performing at the same level. When you struggle at any part of your game, as a coach, you spend much more time and work much harder trying to figure out something that will give your players a chance to play well. The guys that are losing work a lot harder than the guys that are winning.
Rocky, how did Tim Vizzi come to win the punt return job? And also, what does he contribute, do you think, just intangibly? He seems like a really hard worker from the get-go. What do you think he's contributed?
Well, number one, the punt returner is determined on who catches the ball best in practice. Return ability, being able to return the ball once you catch it, is secondary. Because the worst thing you can do is fumble a punt, which we've done, by the way.
Yeah.
But the guy that gets the return punch is the one that catches it the best. And then if he has the ability to run with it a little bit, and the guys on the punt return team can block fairly well, you can get something done. Now, he's a wide receiver, so he does some pretty good things with the ball in his hand. I mean, if he caught a pass, it's the same as catching a pass. If you can do something with it afterwards, it's an added bonus. I think he's done, other than the one punt he dropped, I think he's done a pretty good job. Now, I also think we had 2 penalties on punt returns last week, but the punt return team did a great job of blocking last week.
How about intrinsically with him? Is he a kid you've liked from the start because of, he seems like he has good work.
Yeah, I think he works hard. This team is a bunch of hard workers. We don't have any, I don't know what you call them, dogs. We don't have any loafers. We don't have those guys on this team. If they're like that, they don't last very long. And most of that is peer pressure. Now, we work them really, really hard. I mean, last week when we played so bad and everybody was talking about how bad, I told you last week, we didn't have one kid quit. We didn't have one kid not play hard. We didn't have one kid not running around trying to do his job. And a lot of teams, when they're getting beat like that, they quit. We don't have those kind of kids in our program. You want positives, there's one right there. We're not a pro football team. They're not getting paid. They're working their tails off, and they're trying to play as good as they can play. And it's our job to try to give them a chance to play as good as they can play. This is not pro football.
Coach, injuries-wise, I mean, is Jeff Gordon going to be back?
I don't think Joppa Gordon's going to be back. Colin Lockett will be full speed. Well, it's supposed to be full speed today. Who else did we have?
Wade?
Josh Wade should be full speed today. I don't think Joppa will be back.
How long do you expect him to be out?
It's now I'm going to talk like I'm a doctor or something because I don't really understand. He broke the other foot the exact same way last year. It's a genetic issue. This is the doctor talking now. It's a genetic issue that there's really nothing they can do to fix it. It heals on its own, and it's just a matter of being able to handle the pain. Last year he did it before our bowl game, so he had 3 weeks to get used to the pain, and then played in the bowl game. So it actually took him 2 weeks, and then he practiced for a week before the bowl game. So
how do you feel like Riley Godd did in his place?
He was productive. He can get a lot better, but he was productive.
And how about on the D-line? I mean, Godshall's still out. Well, he's not back.
He's not back.
And in terms of Cody Galea kind of stepping in, like, what do you think of his performance this week?
I think Cody's improved. He's improved every week. I thought our defensive line played a little bit better last week. It was not a dramatic improvement, but I thought they played a little bit better last week.
In terms of rushing the passer, or?
Both.
Was it something you added, or was it just playing against a lesser opponent?
No, I think it was a combination of both. I think that they're getting better as the season goes along, and the people that we played weren't quite as good.
Coach, what about King Holder? Did you see him kind of give a boost to the secondary last weekend?
I think King played well last week. I don't think one game makes you a star.
Rocky, given that you lost a 4-year starting quarterback, one of the top rushers in the nation, and a good bulk of your offensive line, have you been surprised at all that your offense has been able to keep up the scoring pace the way they have?
Maybe a little. But I mean, people forget what coaches say before the season ever starts. And they make their own determination before the season ever starts, and then they stay on that kick. Before the season, I said our concern was the offensive line. Our concern was not the running game. Our concern was not receivers. We had much better receivers than we did the year before. So it was all about one guy playing well, and that was whoever was going to be the starting quarterback. And we're running the ball really well, and with a young offensive line, we're not protecting the quarterback as good as we should be, but we knew that going into the season that the offensive line could struggle at times. I think the biggest surprise is, to me, has been Ryan Katz's ability to scramble or run with the football. Because I watched film of him at Oregon State, and he was okay at scrambling, but he threw the ball. He's throwing the ball here like he did at Oregon State, but he's getting a lot more with his feet than I ever thought he would. Mm-hmm.
When did you first realize that, hey, this kid can run? Like, did you see him in spring? Like, when do you think that kind of hit you?
Well, in spring, they scramble around, and in fall camp they scramble around, and they never get hit. So you never know until they actually get in a game. In fact, if you remember during fall camp, after 2 weeks into fall camp, he was making a lot of plays scrambling around, and nobody could hit him. So we stopped that. Anytime he scrambled, we blew the whistle as soon as he started scrambling, trying to get him to stay in the pocket and throw the ball, for the good of the whole team, good of the offense and good of the defense, so the ball was in the air. Okay, so when you don't hit him in practice, it's hard to tell that he's that good at carrying the football, because all the quarterbacks look good scrambling around in practice when they never get hit. But I think he's been a pleasant surprise on how well he carries the football.
What do you think he has? Is that like a toughness, the fact that he'll scramble and not be afraid to get hit as he's running?
No, I think it's a belief in athletic ability. There's not a good quarterback in the country that's afraid of getting hit. I watch those pro quarterbacks. They'll sit in there and take a huge lick to complete a pass now. The good ones will. The bad ones won't, but the good ones will stick in there and throw a pass and get hit right in the throat just as they're throwing it. So there's not good quarterbacks, there's not a factor of toughness with good quarterbacks.
As long as he's running for touchdowns, I assume you're okay with it, but do you want him running that much?
Well, 2 of his touchdowns were designed runs. So we wanted him to carry those. We would hope that he doesn't have to scramble as much as he's scrambling. But we also, he's been sacked several times too, so I can completely, being a former quarterback, I can completely understand why he gets out of there early. If I've been sacked more than any other quarterback in this league, I can understand why he's getting out of there early.
So is there a chance that you incorporate more design runs into your offense in the next few games?
I think it's all determined on how the defense plays. I thought the offensive staff did a great job of seeing how their defense reacted to certain plays and man coverage, so receivers could take them away from the side we were running that play to. I thought that was a great job of scheming by our offensive staff, and then I thought it was a really good job of our offensive kids executing. We do a lot of good scheming things that you guys don't know anything about because the players don't execute it.
Rocky, going back to Ryan running, on those design plays, I think the first one was was it almost a bootleg? The first one the other night?
Yeah, it was kind of a counter play.
Yeah. Obviously had huge daylight, but when you're coaching him through that, do you want him to kind of get to the sideline and then just get as many yards as he can so he's close to the sideline, and how much do you coach him on getting on the ground?
That's a great question. First of all, let's understand when he carries the ball in a designed run, it's no different than the Wildcat. It's exactly what they do in the Wildcat. Tebow made it famous last year. It's just that our quarterback's doing it instead of a wide receiver or a running back taking the shotgun snap. It's the exact same plays that they run out of the Wildcat. No, I don't think you teach him to hit the ground. He's not a pure drop-back quarterback. If you design running plays for him, he is a running back. So when he carries the football, his job is to get in the hole and make people miss. In fact, the first touchdown, maybe it was the second, one of the touchdowns that he ran, the free safety had a clean shot at him. Nobody blocked the free safety, and the free safety maybe touched him. I've been trying to explain that on the other side of the ball. That's what's happening in college football is you're getting great athletes out in space in one-on-one situation, and the guy carrying the football or catching the football has all the advantages because he can set you up and he can plant and go where he wants to, and the guy trying to tackle him has to react. So if you have equal athletes out there, the guy with the ball wins every time. And that's what happened with their free safety. I'm sure their free safety is really a good player. Ryan stuck a foot in the ground and went the other way, and all he did was lay a hand on his thigh.
Coach, do you see Ryan possibly having a shot at the NFL?
I don't know how NFL people view him. I really don't. I know the NFL is starting to go with more and more athletic quarterbacks. The days of the pure drop back quarterback are kind of going by the wayside. They're starting to get quarterbacks that can move around and get out of trouble and make plays with their feet. And so I think the NFL's always slow reacting to innovations in football. I mean, they stick kind of with the proven way for a lot longer than colleges do. Colleges, they'll jump on an idea. If it works, colleges will jump on it quick. Pros kind of mix and match and wait to see if it really works before. And then they pay those guys a hell of a lot more. I mean, Ryan Katz is on scholarship. I don't know how much he gets, but it's not very much for room and board. And in the pros, they're paying him a ton of money, so they might not want him to get hit.
If you were an owner or a head coach, would you bring him on?
Ryan Katz?
Yeah.
It'd totally depend on who else I already had. I mean, you want an honest answer, right?
Say you were in need of a good backup number 2 quarterback.
Probably not. If I needed a third string quarterback, probably, yes.
Coach, one question. Ronnie Hillman's going to return on Monday for Monday Night Football. Have you seen him play at all this year, and your advice to him?
Well, no, I haven't seen him play. I heard he's played in the last 2 games. I knew he was on the inactive list. They say I'm talking about something I don't know anything about. I know he was still on the roster, but he wasn't playing for a while. But I heard he played in the last 2 games and played pretty well. So hopefully he continues to play well. I don't have any advice for him. He made his choice. He's there and he's making good money, and I guess he played pretty well in the 2 games he played. I don't ever get to watch pro football.